The sky unveils an azure hue. A lone tree waits for snow goose. The crow stands over the shattered pane, its dark feathers casting an inky stain. In strings, truth sings. In schemes, the heart's discord rings. Clouds and winds reshape the sky. All unfolds as fate has planned. Parsing completed. Light speed off work. Okay, just kidding. But the PV content is really summarized by the opening poem. Proof of facts. Tada's copy remains as excellent as ever. But these poems in PV don't mean that. The blue sky is covered in light gauze. It's a description of the environment. The mist in the sky has dissipated. Heavy snow cover in Marshville due to unknown reasons. Cold winter has become its synonym. That's why the air is often filled with mist. But if it fits the plot setting and interpretation. Here is the succession of the new white tiger Linghan. Marshville began to recover. Lonely with watching snow hung. To be precise, it should be a plum. Unopened plum blossoms appear in the picture. It means Linghan. Linghan's name comes from Mei of Wang Unshi in the Song dynasty. Counting plum trees in the corner, Linghan opens alone. Knowing that there is not enough snow from afar, for there is a hidden fragrance coming. A poem is enough to summarize the new white tiger lord. The second half of the poem looks at Sihong. Sihong is an abbreviation for Xueni Hongjiao. Poems originating from Sushur. What is it like to know everything in life? Like a flying swan treading on snow and mud. It means the geese leave paw marks on the mud after the snow melts. Used as a metaphor for traces left by past events. This poem signifies the traces of plum blossoms and claw marks. But it also means that Linghan falls into the past memories. Broken window crow-dwelling guest. There are two interpretations, both external and internal. In the memory of Linghan, there are two flying creatures in the sky. To prevent mistakes, I specifically checked the comparison between crows and geese. Discovered that it was actually a crow. It can only be said that it is truly a beautiful artistic conception. It's just that the crows are a bit of a curse on the scenery. From the picture, it can be seen that the crow came here not without a purpose. There are food drops on the windowsill side. But the crow is not simple either. Our common crow eyes should be like this. And this crow's eyes are shining red. This crow is not raised by Linghan, but following Nanine. This sentence is also about Nanine to arrive in. The crow refers to the rebellious Nanine. The broken window is the devastated Marshville. Dark feather ink shadow heavy. The meaning refers to the feathers of a crow. Dark is ink, with heavy shadows. And it's also saying, led by Black Crow, the fallen divine beast Golden Crow. Darkness army is coming. There is a positive sound in the string, and the melody disturbs the heart. Before the domain guard reports, Linghan has been playing the piano in Marshville Prefecture. In the Qin music, there are reminiscences of past friends. At the same time, it also makes her heart unable to calm down. The meaning inside means in the memory of Nanine. She played the piano for Nanine at Marshville Cold Spring Pavilion to see her off. In the music of the Qin, there is reluctance and a longing for reunion. These thoughts were heard by Nanine. But in the end, she still didn't stay. The winds and clouds of heaven and earth are changing, all of us are traveling here. This sentence is easy to understand. The heaven and earth suddenly changed, and darkness came. The situation in Marshville is precarious. Survival and death are in this battle. At the same time, it also refers to the reappearance of Nanine after many years. The controversy between two white tigers. Results between Linghan and Nanine. It all depends on this action. One poem, two interpretations. Isn't it very exciting? Although there is suspicion of excessive interpretation. But unexpectedly, it fits the content of the performance. Next, we will provide a more detailed interpretation. At the beginning of the screen, the plaque reads Marshville Prefecture. You can see a crow flying in the air. Nearby, there are still blooming plum blossoms. Review the version PV. In the past, Marshville was also a scene of brilliant decline. But now there are only dead branches left. At this point, the sword formation has a reaction. Although I don't know what the principle is. The sword array here can really detect the opening position of Abyss Current. And we know this is not the first time. When I first arrived in Joltville, I was prompted by NPC. Detection of Abyss Current is the function of Longjian Pavilion. That's right. The sword array we see is the Longjian Pavilion led by Linghan Pavilion leader. There are many explanations for the word Long. Xiaofeng believes that the interpretation of the instrument is the most appropriate. Long is a percussive and vocal instrument of the Zhuang ethnic group. Longjian can also be explained as the sound of the sword. It can also be seen from the video. The sword formation detects its position through the sound between flying swords. The person in charge has prepared his subordinates for battle. She herself went to report to Linghan. At this moment, the crow also happened to be by the window. It suggests Nanine is about to arrive. Note that the crow's eyes here are blood red in color. Although the food is delivered, obviously not to feed it. With a loud explosion in the sky, the sword formation also fell together. The place where the sword falls is where Abyss Current appears. Meanwhile, the person in charge has reported the news to Linghan. Linghan is used to these things. Since Marshville was covered by heavy snow, Abyss Current has never stopped. She's curious why the person in charge came to report to her specifically. The person in charge said it was an abnormality in the sword formation. This is naturally related to the former defected white tiger lord Nanine. Who else can make the detection of the sword formation problematic? What's wrong with the sword formation? We can compare it before and after. You can see that the chain that locked the giant sword is gone. We just don't know if the sword formation has also failed. Speaking of which, I'm curious about when the plot in PV happened. Coincidentally, we happen to have a clue. Let's go back to Domain 9 Foresight PV. This is when Nanine first appeared. At this time, she was still wearing a mask. It was picked up when attacking Black Jade Ruins. The second time we saw her was at the Black Jade Ruins. The third time in the ruins of Joltville. But she didn't show her face this time. Only a close-up of the hands. The fourth time is in the PV here. We can see that Nanine did not wear a mask. The visible timeline should be in sequential order. First to Ignisville, then to Joltville. Then she came to Marshville. If the timeline is really like this plot takes place on the timeline we are in. Battle between Nanine and Linghan. We don't know if we can catch up. But in this way, we can also guess the outcome. Nanine is still a powerful spokesperson for darkness at this stage. Carefully trace her whereabouts. It will be found that although the Black Jade Ruins in Ignisville are safe, but she has been there. Black Jade Ruins in Joltville also have her figure. Now she is back in Marshville. Her route is obviously Ignisville, Joltville. Marshville and Aquaville are acting like this. There must be a secret in her. It's probably related to the black timestamp on her hand. So it seems that she won't be captured in the short term. Let's continue back to the plot. Hear the description of the person in charge. She already knew that Nanine was back. Pay attention to what Linghan said. Finally, two words also suggested another possibility. This is Nanine's first appearance after her mutiny. This is not in line with our understanding. But we can rearrange the order. Linghan knows that Nanine is working for darkness. This indicates that she has appeared before. This place is in Ignisville. That is, Domain 9's forward-looking PV. And then it appeared in the PV here. The third time was at the Black Jade Ruins in Ignisville. Linghan and Mingjing once joined hands to fight against the enemy. Derive according to this idea. In this battle, both sides are tied. Or Linghan won. Nanine fled to Ignisville. It's clearly a battle. But derive two completely different results. This is the charm of plot interpretation. In the absence of clues. Any word. The visuals may be the key to turning the plot around. This is the variable brought about by the information gap. Which outcome do you believe more in? With the person in charge saying that the Cold Spring Pavilion. Linghan falls into memory. At that time, it wasn't cold in Marshville. I have to say that Tada did a great job with the details this time. With Linghan plugging the strings. The petals also fell down. This is the Cold Spring Pavilion where Linghan and Nanine fought. Just a few years ago, it was like a fairyland. Nanine came to the meeting barefoot as promised. Just like two crows gathering in the sky. This metaphor is absolutely unique. Nanine before blackening is really beautiful. The mark on the forehead is also pink. When two people sit together, we can't help but marvel at the great power of oranges. Different from Faiz and Lon. They are not in a hierarchical relationship. And more like a close friend of high mountains and flowing water. Playing the piano alone. Playing the flute alone. Happy Jianghu in anime. Nanine apologizes for being late. But Linghan knew it was because she visited the ruins. This is also a big event in Domain 9. After entering Marshville Ruins, White Tiger Rebellion. The leader of the three states is missing. The former leader of Xingong is missing. The top officials of Domain 9 were annihilated. But it also raises questions. What was discovered in the ruins of Marshville? It was able to attract all Domain 9 executives. Even if it's a near-death chance. Going on a personal adventure? From the records of Cloudbreaker Institute, we have learned that Infinite Sundial had an accident. That is to say, Domain 9 was several years ago. Already facing a survival crisis. Once field energy is exhausted, Infinite Sundial is out of action. Domain 9 will lose the ability to fight against darkness. Until it is destroyed. Under such circumstances, it is worth Domain 9's top management. There's only one thing. That's new energy. Whether it's a new domain energy, or its substitute. It's enough to make people gamble on everything. Xiaofeng suspects that it may also be related to the black timestamp in Nanine's hands. Timestamp technology originally originated from ancient civilization. In the ruins of Marshville, maybe. Left behind even more incredible things. Linghan holds the pedal. Want to stop Nanine. The screen turns to the present moment. Linghan leads the army to fight with Darkness's army. But I'm more curious about the surrounding environment. This is undoubtedly the Cold Spring Pavilion in memory. But we can only see an endless ice sheet. So what's underneath the ice layer? The snow in Marshville is natural snow. Or is everything frozen by mysterious forces? If it's the latter, can Marshville recover as before after thawing? Then came memories. Nanine doesn't want to continue this topic. She was afraid of shaking herself. So she asked Linghan to play her last song. Pay attention to Linghan's fingering. It really corresponds to the reality of playing the piano one by one. This is thanks to Tada's hiring of Professor Grays as a mentor. Out of curiosity, I checked this teacher. Served at the Guqin Art Museum in Baoding City, Hebei Province. It's the deputy director of the library. She is also a descendant of the Guqin Jiui sect. The Jiui school is one of the important schools of Chinese Guqin art. It has also been approved as a municipal intangible cultural heritage site. Its Qin style is vigorous and firm, and it is elegant and refined. Emphasize the rhythm of singing and scratching. Eno has a lot of content to talk about in detail. Everyone just needs to know that this is a technique for playing the guqin. Why did I expand so much? Because this fingering technique is really used in PV. Undoubtedly, it is the fingering guidance of professionals. After the linkage of the aquarium. Another cultural export. But unfortunately, I couldn't find any songs by Ling Han playing. I listened to the guqin music all night for this. The result can only prove to be original. During Ling Han's playing, the screen returns to the present moment. Ling Han and darkness fight together. Continue with Ling Han's music. Nanny also has the idea of ensemble. But she pushed it down again. She's afraid she won't want to leave after the ensemble is over. Now in reality, Ling Hang just finishes dealing with Zhu Yan. She was entangled by the raven. Next is the action demonstration. Tower of Fantasy uses light special effects this time. In previous weapons, the special effects of the Fantasy Tower are a bit too flashy. So much so that there was some light pollution during the battle. The special effects this time are quite plain. But the pressure has also decreased. The specific effect needs to be checked by the testing server. Ling Han also has a long-range attack method. She can also summon the White Tiger of the Four Holy Beasts. At present, whether it's Ming Jing's weapon or Ling Han's weapon, it seems that none of them belong to the inheritance of weapons. So what exactly does the Four Holy Beasts inherit? Why can only they summon the Holy Beast? Ling Han killed Black Crow with one sword. It is one of the ceilings of practical combat power. It seems that the strength of the Four Holy Beasts is not weak. Land strength is recognized by the copywriter. Ming Jing also once stabbed Zhu Yan. Nini defeated Advanced Darkness like Hei even more. We just don't know what strength Nanine is now. After the end of a song, Nanine is about to leave. There's only one crow left in the sky. Why don't we switch to wild geese? It always feels strange. Nanine finally left. Also set a flag. She will definitely return safely. So far, it seems that she has indeed been achieved. It's just that her consciousness is a bit abnormal. The screen returns to the present moment. Ling Han is in the middle of the battlefield. Nanine came barefoot after blackening. Just like the farewell years ago. The Cold Spring Pavilion is no longer what it used to be. The surrounding scenery has also changed. As she moves, the fallen domain guard turned into Dark Wretch. Ling Han. The fighting spirit has also risen. Pay attention to the eye service at this time. It has reflections. Bonus points for details. At this time, Nanine has changed its appearance. Except for a change in makeup. The marks and pupils have also changed. But currently there is a lack of clues for interpretation. Cold Spring Pavilion witnessed their farewell, but failed to witness their fateful confrontation. So it was dismantled. Black Crow is also revived. According to the rule of winning on both sides against the left side of the wave. Ling Han, yes, she is very dominant. The story of two close friends falling in love and killing each other has reached a climax. There is no winner in this battle. Only their respective positions. It's really hard to doubt that Nanine is controlled. So far, no clues have been revealed in this regard. But PV ends. Ling Han is angry. Nanine is smiling. This also shows that Nanine has not been taken away. Otherwise, there shouldn't be emotional fluctuations. Then why did Nanine become a villain? This is even more intriguing. Okay, that's all for this issue. Follow Xiaopeng, taking you to experience a different fantasy tower.